Alright, welcome back to the channel guys, Guardian Mode back online. So I decided today I'd cover Sarah Pochin, the Reform MP. Yes, again, I have to talk about her because she couldn't do anything more to frustrate and disappoint me by coming on national TV and lying, straight up lying about Tommy Robinson. She is clueless. She has absolutely no idea what she's talking about. And if you're watching this video and you're continuing to support reform, you're probably going to think otherwise after hearing what she said. I'm going to put up on screen the 3 bullet points I want to mention. Firstly, Rupert Lowe's departure from reform. Secondly, reform's policy on deportations. And thirdly, I've saved the last for the best, Sarah's position on Tommy Robinson and in relation to exposing the grooming gangs and the despicable individuals involved in these horrific crimes. And you can tell from this interview, it was Alex Phillips that was doing it. She's just not convinced that Sarah Pochin is the real deal. You know, the constant fidgeting and her body language. She's still star-spangled and infatuated by Nigel Farage, by the way. But I'm beginning to think that Alex Phillips is having reservations about the Reform Party. So let's just kick off with the first point and what Sarah Pochin has to say. This is just absolutely ridiculous.
Coming back to your earlier point, Alex, about how, James has gone and Rupert's gone, this is the time to make sure that we have the best quality, effectively cabinet and then other MPs to present to the British people when that general election is called. So I make no excuses or apologies for the fact that at this stage, we are getting the right people in the jobs. And yes, there's 4 of us elected, but I'm telling you, every single by-election that comes along, we're ready with a candidate. We're getting candidates lined up left, right and centre, and we will win those by-elections.
Did you hear what she said? Best quality cabinet and best quality team. You couldn't get any more quality from a man like Rupert Lowe, who asked the majority of the questions in Parliament. Where were you, Nigel Farage, when Parliament was debating about Brexit and was talking about the EU? Talk about a quality team. What about Vanessa Frey? She wants biological men thrown into female prisons. What do you think about Zia Youssef, Sarah? What do you think about that globalist WEF muppet that donated £1 million to the Reform Party? What do you think about Lila Cunningham replacing Ant Middleton as the mayoral candidate for London? Doesn't scream quality to me, does it? Sarah.
One would assume when it comes to policy, one thing that Reform has been very strong on, one thing that Nigel has been talking about for a long time, he was the first to talk about it, is the boats crossing the channel. So one assumes that when it comes to that particular topic, at least you might be settled a little bit on what your policy might look like there. What do you make of Sir Keir Starmer's deal with France, where finally we are able to now deport certain people to France, albeit people that they essentially handpick?
Well, we're very, very clear on our policy. Absolutely, this is one of our major policy areas that we've been very clear on all along, and that is that as you know, anybody that sets foot or gets as far as our shores is deported immediately and doesn't ever enter the country and never comes back through any kind of legal means either. So that policy is absolutely very, very clear.
I mean, what she was saying. They step onto British soil, they'll be sent back immediately. That's the same thing that the Tories are saying. That's the same thing that a lot of other parties are saying, Sarah. And what about Nigel Farage when he came out before the local elections announcing a deportations policy which would be announced and talked about in clear detail, abundant detail after the local elections? Where is that policy, Sarah? And Nigel Farage has made it clear that he doesn't want to go into the rabbit hole of talking about mass deportations. He thinks it's a political impossibility. We simply can't do it. What do you think about that, Sarah? Right, so as I've said, I've saved the last for the best. Tommy Robinson. Is he a good guy, Sarah? What do you think about Tommy Robinson? Right, all is revealed.
Finally, a bit of a thorn in the side of reform, it seems, is the name Tommy Robinson. Richard Tice upset a great many of people when he called people who might support or like Tommy Robinson that lot. Love him or loathe him, one thing about Tommy is he has a huge groundswell of grassroots support, and largely among people who haven't necessarily voted before, but people who'd be naturally inclined to vote reform more than anybody else. Now, he has turned around criticising reform and essentially telling everybody to back Ben Habib's outfit instead. Does that concern you?
Look, you know, he's entitled to his own opinions. I've never spoken to him. I've never met him. But what we call, if you like, extreme views, or maybe, you know, views that are a little bit too far right, that we're not interested in that in the party. We are we have our views. We are common sense, sensible politicians that are just reflecting the views of the British people.
I mean, people say that he was the man who blew the whistle on grooming gangs, and that's now become a serious issue of national debate.
Well, I don't think he could do that, but or take the credit for that. Grooming gangs has been going on, you know, for years and years and years. People have been trying to raise the subject of grooming gangs. Look at people like Maggie Oliver. You know, I don't think Tommy Robinson can suddenly wade in and, you know, and claim credit for all of that. There have been people working tirelessly over the grooming gangs. And thank goodness we've just heard, haven't we, yesterday, that investigation into South Yorkshire Police is no longer going to be conducted.
I'm sorry, guys. What did I miss? I had to leave there. What did I miss, guys? A load of bullshit and a load of word salad. That's what it was. It is utterly embarrassing for Reform, for Sarah Pochin to come on national TV and basically slander, throw Tommy under the bus, lie about him. She has absolutely no clue, no idea what she's talking about. I believe she's just a mouthpiece of Nigel Farage, basically. And you can tell from Alex Phillips' body language, as I said, she's just not really buying into what Sarah has to say. So, thank you very much for tuning in to Sarah Pochin's shit show. Keep voting for Reform, guys. Continue supporting Reform. Nigel Farage is our only hope. You're right, guys. I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. Don't back Advance UK. Don't go for UKIP. These parties are a waste of time. Support Reform. Get Labour out. They're our only hope. After watching that, I am certain that Reform is the right choice, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments down below. God.